Imagine yourself transported back in time to a world where majestic pyramids rise above the sandy desert, where pharaohs rule with godlike power, and where the Nile River flows endlessly, providing the lifeblood for a civilization that has captivated the imagination of people for thousands of years. Welcome to ancient Egypt, a land steeped in mystery, wonder, and unparalleled achievements that continue to inspire and fascinate us to this day. From the towering monuments that still stand as a testament to their greatness, to the rich mythology and intricate hieroglyphic script that tell their stories, ancient Egypt is a world unlike any other, and one that we can only begin to comprehend by delving into its secrets and uncovering its hidden treasures. Hey there! Welcome back to History in Minutes. Today, let us embark on a journey of discovery as we explore the marvels and mysteries of one of the most fascinating and enduring civilizations in history. The ancient Egyptians were recognized for their intelligence and creativity, having invented various advancements such as mathematics, astronomy, the calendar, and coal makeup. They even constructed the pyramids without the use of slaves. However, in addition to their renowned contributions, they also developed some unusual and peculiar inventions and concepts, which may appear strange to us today, or may have been perceived as such over time. In ancient Egypt, there is evidence of early home pregnancy tests, a surprising invention among the many attributed to them. To determine pregnancy, women would urinate on barley and wheat seeds for several days, and if the seeds sprouted, they were considered pregnant. The gender of the baby was also determined using this method. If barley sprouted, the baby was a girl, and if wheat sprouted, it was a boy. However, it is important to note that this method is not recommended or accurate by today's standards. Additionally, the Greeks and Egyptians reportedly used a method involving inserting an onion into a vagina to determine pregnancy. If the next day the woman's breath smelled of onions, it was believed that she was not pregnant. However, this method is not advisable and should not be attempted. Ancient Egyptian culture involved the practice of mummifying crocodiles as part of their religious beliefs and rituals. This practice was especially associated with the god Sobek, who was believed to be the god of the Nile and depicted as a man with a crocodile head. As the Nile crocodile was seen as a powerful and fearsome creature, offering mummified crocodiles to Sobek was considered a significant act of worship and was believed to ensure the god's favor and protection. The process of mummifying crocodiles involved removing the organs and filling the body cavity with natron, a type of salt, to preserve the body. The crocodile was then wrapped in linen and adorned with jewelry and amulets before being placed in a wooden or stone coffin. These mummified crocodiles were often buried in a designated sacred area near temples, and thousands of them have been discovered in these crocodile cemeteries across Egypt. It has been reported that ancient Egyptians utilized a variety of methods to prevent pregnancy. These included the insertion of crocodile dung and fermented dough into the vagina, as well as the use of seed wool, acacia, dates, and honey, and lactic acid from the acacia tree as spermicides. Of particular interest is the use of the herb silphium, which was used to induce abortions. This practice was considered just another means of avoiding childbirth. The herb silphium was reportedly used for this purpose, as it was believed to have powerful abortifacient properties. Hair was considered a significant aspect of personal appearance and social status in ancient Egyptian culture. The quality, presence, and absence of hair were given great importance and served as symbols of various aspects of a person's identity. As a result, the ancient Egyptians placed great emphasis on maintaining healthy and youthful-looking hair. They went to great lengths to develop remedies for graying hair, some of which were quite unconventional. For example, one of the earliest remedies involved boiling the blood of a black calf with oil and applying it to the hair. Other remedies included cooking a turtle shell and bird vertebrae in oil or boiling a donkey's. The Ebers Papyrus, a medical document believed to originate from 1550 BCE, provides insight into the unconventional treatments that the ancient Egyptians employed to combat hair loss and baldness. One of the most common and peculiar treatments involved cooking the leg of a female greyhound in oil and adding a donkey hoof to the mixture before applying it to the scalp. Additionally, the ancient Egyptians turned to their sun god for aid and recited a magical incantation before drinking a concoction of onions, red lead, iron, alabaster, and honey. They also utilized the fat of various animals, including hippopotamuses, lions, ibex, crocodiles, serpents, tomcats, and geese, by rubbing it onto their scalps. When these treatments failed to yield desirable results, the Egyptians resorted to wearing wigs and fake beards as alternative solutions. The Egyptians believed that the creation of the universe occurred when their god Atum ejaculated after self-stimulation, and the number of times that he ejaculated was believed to be linked to the flow of the Nile River in Egypt. To honor their god, the pharaohs of ancient Egypt engaged in ceremonies that involved masturbating into the Nile. As time passed, this ritual became a tradition for every pharaoh. As they were considered to be next to the gods in the divine hierarchy, they were expected to recreate Atum's contribution to the universe by providing nourishment to the Nile through annual ejaculation. During this ritual, other male attendees would strip naked and join the pharaoh in performing the ceremony, believing that it would increase their blessings and result in a bountiful harvest. This was referred to as the fertility festival. In ancient Egypt, it was customary for people to show their grief for their deceased cats by shaving off their eyebrows. Cats held an important place in Egyptian society and were considered to be sacred animals associated with the goddess Bastet. When a pet cat died, the family would enter a period of mourning, and shaving the eyebrows was a visible sign of their grief. This act was not limited to domestic cats. Rather, it also applied to larger felines such as lions, which were often kept as pets by wealthy individuals. The Egyptians believed that this act of self-mutilation demonstrated their deep grief and respect for their deceased pets, which were considered to be sacred animals. The practice of shaving eyebrows as a form of mourning was a unique aspect of ancient Egyptian culture that served as a symbol of their devotion to their feline companions. Yes, that is correct. Oral hygiene was an important part of daily life in ancient Egypt, and people used various natural substances to clean their teeth and freshen their breath. Ox hooves, ashes, burnt eggshells, and pumice were some of the materials that were commonly used for oral hygiene. Ox hooves were often burned and the ashes mixed with myrrh to make a tooth powder. Burnt eggshells were also ground into a powder and mixed with pumice and water to make a toothpaste. Pumice itself was also used as a tooth cleaner, as it is naturally abrasive substance that can help remove plaque and other debris from the teeth. In addition to these materials, the ancient Egyptians also used various herbs and oils for oral hygiene. For example, they would chew on mint leaves to freshen their breath, and use a mixture of honey and oil as a mouthwash. Overall, oral hygiene was an important part of ancient Egyptian culture, and they developed many techniques and remedies to keep their teeth and gums healthy. The purpose of the tomb was to provide a permanent abode for both the mummified body and the ka spirit that coexisted with it. An accessible tomb chapel enabled family members, friends, and religious leaders to pay their respects to the deceased and offer regular offerings to satisfy the ka's needs. Meanwhile, the concealed burial chamber safeguarded the mummy from any harm. Within the tomb chapel, food and beverages were frequently offered. Once the ka had consumed them spiritually, the living consumed them physically. During the annual Feast of the Valley, a celebration of death and rebirth, several families spent the night in their ancestors' tomb chapels. The hours of darkness were spent feasting and drinking by torchlight, as the living commemorated their reunion with the deceased. In ancient Egypt, it was not uncommon for some kings to marry their half-sisters or sisters. These incestuous unions ensured that the queen was taught her duties from a young age and remained entirely loyal to her husband and their offspring. Moreover, they arranged suitable husbands for princesses who might not have otherwise found a match and limited the number of potential claimants to the throne. In addition, such marriages established a link with the gods, many of whom, like Isis and Osiris, had incestuous relationships. Nevertheless, these marriages were not mandatory, and some of Egypt's most notable queens, such as Nefertiti, were not of royal birth. Until the end of the dynastic era, incestuous marriages outside of the royal family were rare. The restricted vocabulary used for Egyptian kingship were only terms like father, mother, brother, sister, son, and daughter were utilized, and the tendency to use these words loosely made it challenging to discern the accuracy of such relationships. For example, the term sister could refer to the actual sister, wife, or lover, causing confusion on this issue. Ancient Egypt is a civilization that continues to fascinate people all around the world. The unique customs and beliefs of this ancient society, such as their intricate burial practices and complex pantheon of gods and goddesses, continue to captivate our imaginations. The Egyptians left behind an impressive legacy that includes stunning architectural wonders such as the pyramids, awe-inspiring works of art, and a rich history filled with fascinating characters and remarkable achievements. Their customs and traditions, such as the use of hieroglyphics and mummification, continue to inspire and intrigue us today. And that is it for today's video. Like and subscribe for more contents worth your every minute.